You don't suffer because of life itself. You suffer because you're trying to control something that was never yours to control. The natural rhythm of the flow. You don't need to create the river. What you need is to understand the flow and move with its natural rhythm. Today, we're going deeper into the true nature of flow, the way Alan Watts intended us to see it. What Alan Watts taught about flow is profoundly foundational. And today, I want to open another layer of that flow, a way of looking at it through natural laws and principles, something that helps us understand the current of life more clearly, so you can place your own boat in the current and let it move with the river. Before we go deeper, let's take a moment to reconnect with what you and I have already explored together. In Insight 1, I spoke about the reverse current, how we get trapped in it, and how to free ourselves from it. And we introduced the image of the downstream boat, an image I hope you'll carry for the rest of your life. In Core 1, Part 1, we stepped into the first foundation of Alan Watts's teaching, flow. And in Core 2, you saw why we suffer. Resistance is simply turning the boat upstream. And the moment you stop resisting, your boat begins to face the right direction. If at this point you've truly recognized how essential flow is, drop a number 1 in the comments so I know you're moving in rhythm with this series. And today, Core 1 Part 2. I want to help you understand flow more deeply, not only what it is, but how to actually live it in the reality of your daily life. Because flow is not a feeling. Flow is a direction of living. So, what was Alan Watts really pointing to when he spoke about flow? Let's step deeper into the nature of the current. When Alan Watts spoke about flow, he wasn't telling you to stay positive, nor was he telling you to let everything go. He was pointing to something far simpler. Life has never been still. No emotion stays the same. No thought remains unchanged. Even when you sit perfectly still, life is moving. In your breath, in your body, in the tiny shifts around you. Flow, in its simplest form, is the natural rhythm of life. It doesn't need you to push it. It doesn't need you to control it. It simply unfolds. We suffer not because life is hard, but because we try to hold still what is meant to move. We want emotions to stay the same. We want everything to follow our plan. We want the world to rotate the way we think it should. But you cannot freeze a river, and you cannot freeze life. Flow is not giving up. It's not being swept away. Flow is aligning with the rhythm that is already here, like a surfer riding the wave, or a sail turning with the wind. You still act, but you act from harmony, not resistance. Alan Watts often reminded us that the self we think is in control is just a small ripple on the surface of a much larger movement. Cling to it, and you tense up. Let it dissolve, and you soften. I learned this the hard way. Every time I tried to force life into my shape, everything felt heavy, as if the world were pushing back. I didn't realize I was the one pushing against the current. But the moment I allowed things to unfold naturally, life became lighter, clearer, almost immediately, and slowly, good things began to arrive on their own. Another beautiful part of Alan Watts's teachings is effortless action, acting without forcing. It doesn't mean doing nothing. It means moving without strain, without pushing against the water itself. Acting like water, soft yet quietly powerful, slow but unmistakably forward. In my own life, I noticed something. The actions that are right always feel natural, not easy. but not against the grain, as if you've stepped into the rhythm of life itself and the current begins to lift you. In Net Dus, Alan Watts said, "Life is like a dance. No one leads, no one follows. You and life move together through countless small rhythms. Force life to match your beat, and the dance becomes a struggle. Listen to life's beat, and the dance becomes effortless." This isn't just a metaphor for me. It's something I've lived. There were days I tried to move faster than life, and I stumbled, and days I listened, and life quietly showed the way. One of Alan Watts's most subtle insights is that emotions, too, are flow. Anger, sadness, fear, they don't stay forever. They rise like a wave and fall like a wave. It's only when you cling to them or try to shove them away that suffering begins. During my 3 years of going upstream, I lived daily with anxiety and heaviness. I tried to suppress it and force positivity, but as you know, you have to use a tremendous amount of effort and energy to do that. Negative states feel like something you push underwater, a tremendous effort that only creates pressure, always ready to burst back up. When I understood emotional flow, I stopped fighting. I simply observed, the way you watch water move. And strangely, the moment I stopped resisting, the worry dissolved much faster than I ever expected. Now I live with a far more grounded and positive emotional foundation. Of course, difficult emotions still arise, but they no longer pull me far from myself. They come and naturally drift away. In the end, the essence of flow is not surrendering to everything, nor resisting everything. It is the harmony between what is happening and how you are moving with it. When you move with life instead of against it, everything becomes clearer, lighter, more natural. Now we've explored flow the way Alan Watts described it, moving in harmony with what is happening in this very moment. And today, we open the complementary lens Alan Watts did not fully dive into, the natural laws and principles quietly shaping the current of your life. Flow is not just listening to the moment. It is understanding and aligning with the fundamental structure of life itself. Life is not random. It has order. It has laws. And from those laws, we derive the principles that help us live in harmony with the world. Marcus Aurelius said, "Live in accordance with nature, the nature of life itself." Lao Tzu spoke of the Tao, the natural way everything moves, without forcing or resisting. Einstein reminded us that the universe is not chaos. It is built on laws. And in Advaita, many modern teachers describe natural principle as the operating structure of existence. Across East and West, philosophy and science, they all point to the same truth. Align with nature. Align with the laws. Align with the principles that govern life. And when you look closely, that is what flow truly is. When you live in harmony with natural laws and principles, you are moving with the current. When you move against them, the harder you push, the more life seems to push back. There are times when you work hard, try everything you can, and nothing moves. Not because you're lacking, but because you're unknowingly going against a law or principle you haven't yet seen. It's like rowing upstream. You burn all your energy and barely move at all. But when you understand these laws and principles and act in alignment with them, the chaos dissolves and everything becomes clearer. You know what to do. You know what to stop doing. You know how to set the bow of your boat in the right direction. Here are a few laws and principles you may have heard of. the law of cause and effect, the law of change, impermanence, the law of rhythm, cycles, the principle of alignment, the principle of growth, the principle of personal responsibility. There are hundreds, even thousands, of laws and principles spoken about in philosophy, religion, science, psychology, physics, economics, NLP, Stoicism, Advaita, natural law, and universal law. You could spend a lifetime exploring them, but not everyone can start from everywhere at once. So in the coming episodes, I'll share the foundational laws and principles, the root forces that create real transformation when you truly understand them. Now, you've seen both sides of flow, the foundation Alan Watts revealed, and a complementary lens we explored today, the natural laws and principles quietly shaping the current of your life. Flow is not luck. It's not a feeling. Flow is the harmony between your actions and the way life actually moves. When you begin to sense that harmony, everything shifts. Choices become clearer. Your path becomes lighter. And the current starts to carry you instead of pushing against you. And when you truly grasp the laws and principles behind that current, you move beyond simply knowing you should flow. You know precisely what aligns and what goes against it. Suddenly, every choice becomes clear. Even the smallest actions reveal their unmistakable direction. In the coming episodes, I'll share the root laws and principles that quietly shape human life. If something opened up for you today, don't miss what comes next, because from here, the real journey of flow begins.